Hi, it's Diana, and I'm a little disheveled. I planned on anyway. I planned, and then I went outside, and okay. So that's not why I'm here. I'm here because my list of books has a wrinkle, and the wrinkle comes from this book, The Last House on Needless Street. Did not see it coming.
Yes, I got the recommendation from bookshop.org from a gripping thrillers to read next. In general, I'm not a gripping thrillers person, but then sometimes I just want to read a gripping thriller or a horror story. And I don't know much about horror. In fact, I thought that was it, horror. And then if it's not your genre, then it's not my genre. And so when I get into it, I'm like, oh, there's subgenres. There's there's supernatural. There's kind of bloody. I didn't know. And so this was on the list. Why did I pick this one? I have no idea. Why did I pick this one? It might have been the blurb. I so enjoyed it. And so my dilemma is that it's best not to talk about the book if you haven't read it. It's like Fight Club. No, it's not at all like Fight Club. Nobody said don't talk about it. And its copyright is 2021, so it's only 2 years old. Very possible you haven't read it. I very enjoyed not knowing what was coming. Okay, so that's the dilemma. How do I talk about it without talking about it? Instead of going into what's going on with the book, I made a list of some of the food that's mentioned. And another thing that's interesting is within the book, there are times when a character does a recording of a recipe. So the book also includes recipes. So here are some of the foods that are mentioned in the book, not an exhaustive list. I kind of flipped through it and remembered some of the things I was looking for. Baby food jars with food in them and eaten by people who aren't babies. That's interesting. Chocolate chip pancakes are mentioned. Canned tuna is mentioned. Spoiled meat. Definitely not doing a recipe for that. Ice cream, popsicle, pickles, and pickles with peanut butter. Now, this isn't the first time I've run across the combination of pickles and peanut butter. I had a boss when I worked a long time ago, before I had kids. I worked in a quilt store, and the woman who owned the quilt store was fond of peanut butter and pickle sandwiches. I only know that because she said I never witnessed the eating of a pickle and peanut butter sandwich. I also did not feel called to go and try one. And then I have I have 4 recipes, and then I kind of jotted them down. So there's one for bowl shots. So the book also has beer and bourbon. A lot of beer and bourbon. And bull shots are made with bourbon. So a shot of bourbon or 2. That was funny. Or 2. Was not interested in lemons. Not in the house. Lemons are like people who like salads. Not allowed. So no salads allowed. No lemons allowed. Another interesting food was cheese and honey sandwich. A cheese and honey sandwich. And I'm going to say it's made like a grilled cheese sandwich, but it has honey. So the first thing to do is to put oil into a pan and heat it until it smokes. Now, that just, would not do that. Don't recommend it, but that's what the book recipe says, is it's going to burn the bread before it melts the cheese. No, Ted. And then Ted also liked the way the honey and cheese oozed out of the sandwich. Now, I'm going to say I really do like a grilled cheese. I don't have them often, but yeah, it's kind of satisfying when you cut it or break it or whatever you do with it, and the cheese it was like, yeah, it did melt. It's like, yum. Okay, so cheese and honey sandwiches. And then mint hot chocolate. This is also Ted. So I think it kind of reminds me of when I did Polar Express, because the hot chocolate, according to Ted, needs to be eaten with a spoon. So that means it's more like it is hot chocolate, not hot cocoa. Cream de menthe, as much as you like. Thank you, Ted. And then, quote, Ted says, you can add bourbon too. I think Ted likes bourbon. And then you can top it with whipped cream, chocolate chips, or smashed up pieces of cookies. Of cookie. And that would be a quote from Ted. And then still quote, you need a spoon to eat this. Okay, that sounds like a dessert. But sure, except for I don't think I would. Anyway, sounds good. I would not want the bourbon. And then the last thing, and I might make this one, is sliced strawberries with balsamic vinegar sandwich. Does he call it a sandwich? It's more like an open face sandwich. So it's so hard not to talk about the book. But those are some interesting foods. I'm going to make that strawberry thing. I'm a little like, it's not. Anyway, I'm a little like, do I really want to eat that on bread? But hey, Ted, character Ted, who doesn't exist in the real world, in the outside world with me. Ted, I'm going to try that. And I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to ask myself some questions about this food from the last house on Needless Street. And it's a strange combination. Let's see. So who's making these? What tastes do they go with? Do they go together? Does the same person who likes chocolate chip pancakes like bullshots? Does the same person who likes spoiled meat? Okay, in the story, nobody likes the spoiled meat. Who eats spoiled meat? Do they eat a popsicle? What do I know about this person? What can I tell about this person who says, I do not like salads and I do not like lemon, but I'm going to eat some pickles with peanut butter on them? What canned tuna and spoiled meat? What's you have bullshots and jars of baby food. What's up with that? I'm trying to form a picture. It's very hard, very hard. Do you ever suggest a book to a friend or an acquaintance or a book club or a YouTube group so that you can talk about it? Anybody else read? Did I ask that already? Anybody else read this book? Let's talk about it. What questions do you have? What recipe or what food from this book would you be willing to try? Some of them are straight, like beer, baby food, pickles. Some more, a little more adventurous. Bullshots, peanut butter, and it's not peanut butter and pickles. Cheese and honey. Sandwich. The recipe actually calls for basil, but I don't have any basil growing. I planted some, but nothing yet. So I'm going to collect my mint. I got some really good ones here. It smells so good. I picked way more than I need. And I didn't pick it, I trimmed it. But I'll be able to put it into a vase and it'll grow roots. Then I'll have more mint. Okay, I have my mint I'm going to use. I just dropped some. These just the little top tender leaves. That's going to go with my strawberries. And then I have a whole vase of the rest of the mint. And it was my mother who told me that you can just stick plants in water and sometimes they'll root. And I've done that with leaves. And with the mint, I know the mint will work because I've done it before. Sometimes my mother would just stick things in the ground, and they would root and grow. So I try that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it works with mint. The ingredients are really simple. Basil, it's supposed to be basil. I'm doing mint. Sliced strawberries, a balsamic vinegar reduction or glaze, pepper, and bread to make a sandwich. There are absolutely no measurements. It's kind of all whatever you like, or not even mentioned. I have no idea how many strawberries. I don't know how much mint. I don't know how much balsamic vinegar. It's like whatever I think I might like, which also very much goes with the book. And here's another big thing. Now that all the ingredients are together, and this is not the pepper that goes on after, they're supposed to sit and come together because they're better that way, which is true with a lot of recipes. It's very pretty. I'm going to sit and let it come together, and then I'll put it on the toast. I'm going to toast my bread. Okay. I have my toasted bread. I added cream cheese. It's not in the book. Strawberries. Strawberries going on. They made a nice juice with the balsamic vinegar reduction. Balsamic reduction. Strawberries and mint. I'm going to go with it. Pepper. My last house on Needless Street meal.